What's happening? Bears faithful, welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your #1 destination for all the breaking news, insider updates, and everything you need to know about our Chicago Bears. I've got a developing situation today that's going to have major implications for how this offense operates on Sunday, and the timing couldn't be more critical as we try to build momentum and get back into the win column. Stay locked in because what I'm about to break down affects not just this week's game plan, but potentially the entire trajectory of our receiving corps moving forward. Let me paint the picture of where we're at right now as a team. We're coming off a tough 28-21 loss at Lambeau Field against the Packers, a game where we showed flashes of competitiveness, but ultimately couldn't finish when it mattered most. That loss stings. There's no way around it. But what's happening this week in practice is creating another layer of complexity that the coaching staff has to navigate. We've got injury concerns popping up in the wide receiver room, and when you're trying to establish consistency on offense and give your quarterback the weapons he needs to succeed, these kinds of setbacks can derail everything you're working to build. Here's what went down on Sunday that sets the stage for what we're dealing with now. Odunze, our talented young receiver who's been showing real promise this season, was dealing with a heel injury that limited his availability during the game. When a key player goes down or is compromised physically, the next man up has to step into that role and produce, and that's exactly what happened with Olamide Zaccheaus. Now, Zaccheaus has been in an interesting position lately because he was recently moved down to the number 4 receiver spot on the depth chart, which tells you the coaching staff has been evaluating the rotation and making adjustments based on performance and matchups. But when Odunze couldn't go full speed, Zaccheaus got the call, and he responded by playing 78% of the offensive snaps and running routes on 83% of our passing plays against Green Bay. Those are significant numbers that show just how much the team leaned on him in that game. He finished with 2 catches on 3 targets for 7 yards and a touchdown. So while the yardage total wasn't eye-popping, he did find the end zone, which is always valuable and shows he can make plays when his number is called. That touchdown was a bright spot in a game where we needed every point we could get, and it demonstrated that Zaccheaus still has the ability to contribute even after being bumped down the depth chart. But here's where things get complicated, and this is the news that's going to impact our preparation for Cleveland this Sunday. Wednesday's practice brought some concerning developments that have the entire organization paying close attention. Olamide Zaccheaus was listed as a limited participant in practice due to a hamstring injury. Now, for those of you who follow football closely, you know that hamstring injuries are tricky business for skill position players. These aren't the kind of injuries you can just play through without consequences, especially for a receiver whose entire game depends on explosive movements, quick cuts, and the ability to accelerate out of breaks. A compromised hamstring affects everything from route running to tracking the ball downfield, and if you try to push through it too soon, you risk making it worse or suffering a more severe strain that could sideline you for multiple weeks. The timing of this injury is particularly challenging because we're already dealing with uncertainty around Rome Odunze's status. Odunze was also a limited participant in Wednesday's practice as he continues to manage that heel injury that affected him against the Packers. So now you've got 2 receivers in our rotation dealing with injuries at the same time, and that puts the coaching staff in a difficult position when it comes to game planning for the Browns. Shane Waldron and the offensive staff need to know who's going to be available, who can play at full capacity, and who might be limited in terms of what they can do on the field. When you're installing a game plan and designing plays for specific personnel groupings, having question marks at the receiver position makes everything more complicated. Let's talk about what this means for our wide receiver corps heading into Sunday's home game against Cleveland. We're already in a state of flux with how the depth chart has been shaking out over recent weeks. DJ Moore remains our #1 option, the guy who commands the most attention from opposing defenses and who needs to be involved early and often if we're going to move the ball consistently. Darnell Mooney has been working as another key piece in the passing game. And then you've got the younger guys like Odunze who are still developing but showing the potential to be impact players. Zakos was filling that fourth receiver role, but his ability to step up when needed became evident against Green Bay. And now we might not have him at full strength, or possibly at all, depending on how this hamstring responds over the next few days. The Browns' defense isn't a group you want to face when you're dealing with injuries and uncertainty in your offensive personnel. Cleveland has playmakers on that side of the ball who can disrupt timing routes, apply pressure on the quarterback, and take advantage of any miscommunication or hesitation in the passing game. If we're rolling out receivers who are either inexperienced or not fully healthy, that's going to show up on tape, and you can bet their defensive coordinator is going to scheme to exploit those weaknesses. We need our best players on the field operating at their highest level if we're going to execute the game plan and put points on the board. Now, I want to be clear about something because I think perspective is important here. Injuries are part of football. Every single team in this league deals with them throughout the season, and the organizations that handle adversity the best are the ones that find ways to adapt and keep winning. The Bears have depth on the roster. We've got young players who are hungry for opportunities, and this could be a chance for someone to step up and make a name for themselves. Tyler Scott, Velus Jones Jr., whoever gets the call to fill in if Zakos and Odunze can't go, this is your moment to show what you can do on the big stage. The coaching staff believes in the guys in that locker room, and I believe in them too, because I've seen the work ethic and the talent that exists on this roster. But let's also be realistic about the challenge this presents. Chemistry and timing between a quarterback and his receivers takes reps to develop. You can't just plug someone into the lineup and expect everything to run smoothly, especially in a league where defenses are so sophisticated and communication has to be perfect. Justin Fields, or whoever is under center, needs to have confidence in where his receivers are going to be, and the receivers need to understand how their quarterback sees the field and when he's going to pull the trigger on certain throws. When you're forced to shuffle the lineup due to injuries, that chemistry gets disrupted, and it can lead to missed opportunities, turnovers, or stalled drives that kill momentum. The practice reports over the next couple of days are going to be absolutely critical for understanding how this situation develops. Limited participation on Wednesday doesn't automatically mean a player is going to miss the game, but it does indicate that there's legitimate concern about their ability to practice fully and be ready for game day. Thursday and Friday's injury reports will give us much more clarity on whether Zakos and Odunze are trending toward playing or if the team is preparing to be without them. I'll be monitoring every update that comes out of Hollis Hall, and you can bet I'll be bringing you that information as soon as it becomes available, because I know how important this is for all of you, trying to understand what to expect on Sunday. From a strategic standpoint, if both Zakos and Odunze are compromised or unavailable, the Bears might need to adjust their offensive approach. That could mean more emphasis on the running game with our backfield committee, more tight end involvement in the passing attack, or even some creative formations that use motion and misdirection to create easier throwing windows for the quarterback. Shane Waldron has shown that he's willing to adapt his scheme based on personnel, and I trust that he'll put together a game plan that gives us the best chance to succeed, regardless of who's available at receiver. But there's no denying that losing 2 rotation receivers, even if one was recently demoted in the depth chart, creates challenges that make scoring points more difficult. I'm staying optimistic about this situation because I believe in the resilience of this team and the ability of our coaching staff to put players in position to succeed. We've got a home game on Sunday at Soldier Field. Our fans are going to be loud and supportive, and there's no reason we can't come out with the intensity and execution needed to beat Cleveland. The Browns have their own issues to deal with, and if we can take advantage of our opportunities, play clean football, and get contributions from across the roster, we're absolutely capable of getting back in the win column. Every game matters in this league, and we need to stack wins together if we're going to be in the playoff conversation when the calendar turns to December and January. So here's what I need from all of you watching right now. How concerned are you about these receiver injuries heading into the Browns game? Do you think the Bears have enough depth to overcome losing Zacchaeus and potentially Odunze for this week? And who do you want to see step up if we need someone to fill those roles? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, because I genuinely want to hear from Bears Nation on how you're feeling about this situation. Make sure you're subscribed to Bears News Fan Report and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I'm bringing you the latest news, the most detailed analysis, and all the insider information you need to stay connected with your Chicago Bears. Smash that like button if this breakdown was helpful. Share this video with your fellow Bears fans, and let's keep this community growing strong. Bear down, let's get this win on Sunday, and keep building towards something special this season.